I bet you can solve a Morphy's concealed mate. And if you can't solve it, then by the end of this video, you will be able to solve it. And if by the end of the video you can't solve it, then I want you to not only understand it conceptually by watching the video again if needed, but also demonstrate it on the board, whether on chess.com, over the board, whatever, so that you can actually put it into practice, right? There's one thing to watch these YouTube videos and be like, oh, I understand it conceptually. It's another thing to actually put it into action and put it into practice and develop that pattern recognition. Okay? So let's get started. We're going to do a Morphy's concealed mate. Keyword concealed mate. So by the end of this, you're going to see the raw version of what a Morphy's mate looks like. And in hindsight, you'll be able to work backwards from it. But if you haven't seen this before, I want you to try to calculate. This position on the screen right now, it's white to move, solve for white. There's a mate at the end, of course. I'm not going to tell you how many moves. So go ahead and pause the video, do the best calculation you can, write it out, whatever you have to do to kind of try to solve this puzzle to the best of your ability. Okay? All right. Now, I bet you saw the first move. Rook take g7. Check. Right? That is the correct move. Now, king h8, forced, nothing else to do. It's a great position to be in. However, we have to get this correct because if you look at the entire board, white is down material. So either we're mating or we're going to get swept off the board. So, king h8. Now what do we do here? So it seems like one of the moves that we could do is rook to g1, check, because of the bishop on the diagonal hitting the king. Now there's a problem with that. What's the problem? f6. So pawn to f6 blocks the bishop, and we no longer have an attack on the king. And now black's sitting pretty. He's going to be able to come back. We can't have that. So let's come back and move. So we've played rook g7, king h8. Now we just discerned that the pawn is the problem. So what if we take it? Rook take f7, check, because of the bishop. King goes to g8. Rook g7, check again. King h8 again. Now what if we play rook g1, check. There's no more pawn. So that's the key element here in this Morphy's mate. There's no more pawn on f7 to block. But they do have another piece to block, rook f6. However, that rook is not protected, so bishop take f6, Morphy's mate. Now this position right here, I want you to kind of etch in your brain because this is a combination with the bishop and rook overwhelming the king, so it has nowhere to go, right? This is kind of a raw form of what Morphy's mate looks like. This is where we're headed towards. Now, when you're playing a game, this is just not going to appear on the board. It's going to be concealed. It's going to be a Morphy's concealed mate. So how do you know to look for it? Well, if you have a bishop and a rook aimed at the king that's been castled, hitting g7 in this case, then there may be something there. Of course, we have to calculate to see if it works, right? Okay, so that's Morphy's concealed mate. How did you do? If you like videos like this, click like, subscribe, comment to let me know so I'll make more videos to kind of show different types of mates. I think this is particularly special because a lot of us solve puzzles and we just kind of do the mates, like mates in ones, mates in twos, or we look for forks. But it's not always very applicable in our games because we don't see the concealed versions. We don't have a real good conceptualization of when it's really going to appear on the board because it's not going to really be a very obvious 1 or 2 move mates, especially against stronger opponents. You want to get a sense of like, how can I facilitate a mate much earlier on? And that'll be the concealed versions of these mates, right? Okay, so if you like this, let me know. I'll see you in the next one.